Guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Solid Drives and another episode of Garage Review. It's been a long time, but I still do these. I'm getting word like people are saying that I don't do garage reviews anymore. No. I still do them. It's just that they've become a lot more complex. Back in the day, you just sent me a video, I watched the video, and I talk about your garage. Nowadays, I make comprehensive notes that are like 5, 6, 7 pages long with discussions of the owners that take hours. If you want proof, here, boom, right there, all my documents. For those people saying I don't do garage reviews, I do them, man. They take a lot of time. But anyway, today we're going to be reviewing Red's Garage. Red is a brand new patron. He's Corvette tier, and he requested specifically for the YouTube garage review. So of course, as you know, we're going to be looking at his garage today. So let's talk about Red's Garage. We're talking about 9,295 trophies, which to be fair is relatively low considering that he said that his garage is between 2 to 3 years old. I'm surprised it's actually that low because his garage is pretty good. So tell me what's going on here, Red. Did you start off trying to stay under 4,000 trophies like every other player in the world? I have to be completely honest, man. Like, free-to-play or not, staying under 4,000 trophies isn't really smart. I know people like to do it because the brackets are a little easier, but really, you're just halting your own progress, in my opinion. Just go past that 4,000, bro. You can do it. I believe in you. But of course, 300,000 cash, 20 renowns. Obviously, he's being active in those championship series, which is nice to see, and 2,000 gold. So let's talk about his garage. Obviously, before I start a garage review for anybody, I ask the same questions. How old is your garage? What is your favorite brand? What is your favorite country? How often do you play clubs? And what kind of player do you see yourself as? Okay? And for the most part, very, very similar to me. 2 to 3 years, right? And then his favorite brand is Dodge, but Ford and Chevy is a close second. So Dodge, obviously, you know, much like me. For me, my second, even though I'm an American specialist, I would usually, well, you know, I would say Aston Martin and probably Mercedes or Porsche. But yeah, Dodge, Ford, Chevy for Red, and his favorite country is obviously the US of A. So this is going to be great. I'm going to be judging your garage like how I played back in the day when my garage was 2 to 3 years old as well. He plays clubs daily, which is nice to know, and he is more of a collector. So I'm not really a collector because like I said, like his garage is like mine, like his goals are like mine. Besides the last part, he's a collector. I'm more of a prize card chaser, or even you can say that I'm pretty cursed. I'm a hoarder. I like to hoard cars that I like, and that's why I almost have 30 1969 Chargers. But enough about me, let's talk about Red's garage. And first of all, we can see a bunch of red straight off the bat, right? 3 Alfa Romeo Spider S1s and a Volkswagen Beetle Cabriolet. So for commons, they're pretty much a dime a dozen, man. You kind of just collect them if you want. Most of the time, we're forced to collect these cars for special challengers, etc, etc, etc. Pretty normal stuff that I see over here. A bunch of max cars or nothing, which is nice to see. It's either maxed or nothing. Though I say that there is a 1-star Porsche 356B. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Red? Why do you have a 1-star 356B? Is this because of Christmas collection that was like 5 months ago? Wow, it really was about 5 months ago, wasn't it? Here's the thing, man. You got these 1-star commons. I know some people when they 1-star cars, they're like, oh my god, it's a 1-star, I might as well keep it. Like, I don't want to upgrade it because it's bad, but I don't want to sell it away because I've already 1-starred it. Here's the thing, man. If you put some upgrades in the car, the quick sell value goes up as well. You're still losing a bit of cash, but the value still goes up. If I were you, man, I'd either fuse the 356B away or I'd sell it. And it's going to be the same for a lot of these 1-star commons that you have. Maybe not for the 305 because this is still considered a prize car, but for the Porsche and maybe other 1-star commons you might have, I wouldn't worry keeping them around just because they're 1-star. If you want to sell them or fuse them away, go for it. I'd do the same. You wouldn't be losing anything if you fuse it away, and if you sold it, I mean, you still get a bit of an increase because a 1-star common sells more for a 0-star common. And then another thing that's pretty interesting is that there's a lot of, you know, 0-star stock commons. So let me know down in the comments below, what are your goals for this stock common thing? Now here's the thing, right? When I'm making this video and these kind of garage reviews, I have to ask you the question in the video. Usually when I do those like on-call garage reviews, the private garage reviews as I like to call them, I'm talking straight on one-on-one with the owner, and I know exactly what they want to do. So this will be pretty interesting. You can comment down below your answers in the YouTube section, and then everyone can read your ethos and your strategies and all that kind of stuff. Here's another thing, 1-star Volkswagen Beetle. What's up with that? But yeah, all these stock commons, what are your goals with with them? Are they just fused material sitting around? Is this because you have a lot of garage slots and you don't mind keeping them around? Do you plan to fuse them into uncommons anytime soon, or do you plan to max them out? But then again, you also said that you are a collector, which probably means that you're just trying to collect every common and max them out. So if that's the case, have fun with that. The thing about collectors, right, is that you're going to be investing in a lot of slots. And that's why I don't like being a collector. Obviously, this is your thing, right? I don't want to take anything away from you. But this is why I don't like to be a collector, because I have to spend gold on all these slots on cars that I'm not going to use. You know what I mean? That's what common is like to me. But yeah, for those 1-star commons, I'd either max them out or sell them away, especially if they're duplicates, because as a collector, I don't think you'll need duplicates, especially for cars like that Porsche. I keep going back to that Porsche for an example, because it's not even a Blossom choice. You play clubs daily, but that isn't even a car that you're going to use in clubs at all. Now we move on to uncommons. Pretty interesting one. 2 Opel Admiral V8s. What's up with that? Was that Christmas collection? Maybe that was Christmas collection, because to be fair, like, I wasn't very active during the Christmas collection time, but I don't have that car, so I'm just like, oh, why is that there? One uncommon, which is actually pretty useful in clubs, since you say that you play clubs pretty daily, would be this Fiat X19. I think I got it for Horror Show. I needed it for Horror Show, I think. And this car actually turned out to be pretty good. It's low ground clearance, but it's a light car with standard tires and over 80 handling with a relatively okay 0 to 60 for rear wheel drive. It's not bad, the Fiat X19. I use it in clubs quite a bit for an RQ20 car, so I would suggest maxing that out if you have the chance. Obviously, anything in your collection here that is stock and that is American, you probably have to max out, just because you are an American collector as well. I mean, the fact that you are a collector and you love American cars, I mean, that kind of speaks for itself, really. Here's one that you should definitely max out, the Subaru Impreza, and I think that goes to say for throughout the video, and basically any garage review I do. If you have any Blossom Choice cars stock and you only have one of them, those are always going to be the priority cars I'm going to tell you to upgrade. I know it seems a bit repetitive, but it's true. It's a blueprint and a foundation that works. So the Subaru Impreza, definitely fantastic. Medium ground clearance, 4-wheel drive, great handling and standard tires. It's never going to fail you in clubs. I'm surprised that if you play clubs daily, that isn't a car that you've maxed out already. That is a car that you need. I would say that the priority upgrade for you would be the Volkswagen Up GTI, okay? 85 handling, medium ground clearance. It's not the best medium ground clearance on common anymore, but when it comes to German events, it's gonna be really good. And you know what? Here's a trend for uncommons. You have a lot of fantastic uncommons that you haven't touched. Korn and I would be rolling around in agony right now, seeing that Nissan Datsun Bluebird stock. Why is that stock? Meanwhile, you have cars like the Land Rover Discovery 2 and the Dodge Dakota Maxed, but you don't. Please tell me that this Bluebird is like 1 day old and you have it maxed out in your garage already. If anything, if you only have one more uncommon to max in your garage, I would choose the Bluebird. Yeah, at least you see the Twizzys are maxed, which is nice. The Mazda Eunice, I'll probably get a second one for clubs. Basically, when it comes to duplicates, just refer to Blossom Choice. Now we move on to rares. Now, usually when I review people's garages, rares always tend to be one of the strongest collections, but I would say here, once again, it's a big collection, but it isn't much of a standout rarity in your garage, because it seems that when it comes to the lower end, most of your lower end rarities are packed in terms of versatility and car count. So, you know, rares doesn't really stand out in that regard. Once again, much like uncommons, I like to see the maxed or nothing going on, but it's pretty interesting to see what cars are stock and what cars are maxed. There's some really great rares here that have gone untouched. One example is the Acura Integra GSR. Not a fantastic rare by any means, not a Blossom Choice, but it's actually very special if you are an American collector, which you are. I would definitely max it out 323. You'll get 89 handling with a, I think, 5.6 0 to 60 if I remember myself correctly. Di Tommaso Valluga Compensazione as well is one of the best Di Tommasos in the game, which says a lot because this is a rare. But it's one of the best Di Tommasos in the game. Great handling, very light, a low, very, very low 0 to 60 for 36 IQ. It's a card that I love to use in solid events and clubs, so I would definitely look at that as well. Now, when it comes to lower rarities, usually when it comes to garages, I would also mention about cars that you should look out for, but it seems that since you are a collector, you are collecting one of each, and I can definitely see that. And here's another one. The Nissan Stagea. Why is that stock? You have the Jimny Max, you even have the BMW 220D to the far right of the screen Max, but the Stagea isn't Max? A part of me is like, okay, you're telling me that you play clubs every day, and you may, but you might not be very successful in clubs every day, because it seems like your best cars especially the best club cars, are not invested in right now. So definitely, if I were you, I take a look at the Blossom choice list, look at the cars that you have, and if it's stock, those are the priority upgrades you need to make. Wow, the Stega, the Bluebird, I don't know why, man, correct me if I'm wrong, right, but I'm starting to think that you don't like Japanese cars at all. And I think this makes sense, because when we go to your epics, obviously I looked at your garage before I recorded the video. I think you have a 1-star Evo 10 as well. So I don't know, man. Anyway, we move on to super rares now, and it's a lot more of the same. It's a big collection with maxed or nothing. Once again, same thing with the 1-stars over here, like this Ford Torino Talladega. I would say that for the commons, it's a 50-50. You can max it out, you can sell it. Not even 50-50, I'm sorry. It's more like an 80, you can sell it. 20, you can max it out, right? But for the Ford Torino Talladega, especially since you're a collector, since it's the only one, I would max it out, and I would go 332. I've had some people tell me, oh, Blossom, is the Torino Talladega a 323 car? Because the handling isn't as horrendous as, I don't know, a 1969 Charger, for example. But the Torino Talladega is still a drag car by right. I mean, the handling, although it's slightly better, it isn't good in any sense. So definitely drag spec, high top speed, no MRA though, but it doesn't really matter, because it has a low 0 to 60, good enough for the quarter mile. Not the best, we'll still lose to a 69, but in very niche circumstances, it'll be pretty decent. Some pretty interesting max outs over here. Once again, you know, American collector, right? But the only American car I see in the screenshot is stock. And every other car that I see that's max isn't from the US. Well, actually, I stand corrected, because the Ram Charger is from Charger. Why did I say that like a Canadian uncle? But the Ram Charger's max, right? But I was talking about the Integra. Why is this stock? And then you have the Golf that's max 6284, or even the Range Rover 4.6. Here's an interesting one. It's a bit of a unicorn car. This 4.6, 7.4, 72 4-wheel drive all-surface tires. The only reason why I say that this is a bit of a unicorn is because I never see that car max, because it's crap. And then meanwhile, you have this fantastic Integra that gets 93 handling for 41 RQ, and it's stock. So definitely one thing I would say is really take a look at what you're maxing out. I guess if you're a collector, you want to max out everything in the end. But even then, I would say that there's a specific order in terms of upgrading your cars, in terms of how usable they are, especially if you play clubs every day, which you say you do. Anyway, moving on. Still, it's a very nice collection, man. It's a lot of super rares over here. One thing I can say for sure is that there are definitely no duplicates. And if you do play, well, I say that, and then obviously C2R2, that always happens. But like I said, you know, if you play clubs a lot, getting duplicates of some of these cars would be pretty useful. Like a duplicate of the Acura Integra Type R would be pretty decent. Or maybe even a duplicate of the Suzuki Ignis. This isn't a fantastic club car, but whenever there's multiplayer events and there's like snow and it's like off-road, the Suzuki Ignis is a fantastic car to use to save RQ. So once again, I would definitely recommend maxing this one out. 323 as always. If you want to get a second one, that wouldn't be too bad as well. Now, usually I'm really good at spotting out cursed upgrades, but from what I can see over here, most of these upgrades aren't cursed. The SSR, for example, I know is 323. You even have two of them, which is pretty cool. Chevrolet Collector, which is nice to see. Oh, maybe this one's slightly cursed. The Chevrolet Camaro Z28, 4.384. Look, man, when you play top drives for as long as I have, and you look at these cards for as long as I have, you can tell on most of them when they look wrong. Like, this SSR would look wrong if it had 87 handling, because that's 233. This Corvette would look wrong if it had like 79 handling, because that would be 323. And that's why I can tell the Chevrolet Camaro is 332, 4.384, minus 4.586 at 323. And I use it as a hybrid car. Since that you've gone 332 on this Camaro, you've taken away the hybrid functionality of the Z28, and you basically limited it to a, you know, drag spec car. And I don't understand why you want to drag spec the Camaro Z28, because for the same exact RQ and the same exact brand, although it's a different decade, you have a drag Camaro already in 3.9 compared to 4.3. I see the Z28 as a hybrid car, so since you're a Chevrolet collector, I'll probably get a second one and max it out 323, so you can utilize that 4.5 86 handling. But yeah, Pulsar is a pretty good one as well. The Miura, very nice to see that you have that max. Lamborghini LMO2 looks correct at 5.6. I don't think there's a 5.4 version drag spec. I'm pretty sure the 323 version is 5.8. Mustang looks good. Thunderbird looks alright. That's a drag spec Yukon Denali, which is nice to see. But yeah, super rare collection. At the top, it looks like the same as most players. You got all the 49s. What I would say, because we're just getting into 49s, I would expect to see the common culprits, right? The 850 all-wheel drive, and the Lotus Sprint, and the Clio Cup car, and the Lotus the Renault Europa Cup. So let's see if you have all of those. Yep, right off the bat, Clio Cup car, max. Europa Cup, max. Opel GT, I didn't even mention that. that, but that's Max, Lotus Elite Sprint, Max. Very nice to see. Very fundamental. Very nice. Upgrades are looking good. Obviously, for Acura TL at 323, Audi Quattro at 2 stars. This one I would complete at 323 as well. But yeah, looking good. Now let's move on to rares. Okay, so rares, once again, what I will tell you with my... I guess this isn't as prevalent to you as it is to me because you're more of a collector. I'm a prize card chaser. When it comes to prize card chasers, focusing on fuse material is one of the most important things to have. But since you're a collector, fuse material isn't probably your main priority, so I don't need to be too cutthroat in terms of cars that you need to get rid of. I would say for ultra rares, since you're a collector, if you have a duplicate, then you can fuse it away, especially if it isn't Blossom Choice. So let's move on. I'm just assuming that all these stock ultra rares, you're gonna max eventually based off the fact that you are a collector. But I will say the Jaguar XGR to the far right of the screen is absolutely hot garbage. One of the worst ultra rares in the freaking game. Alright, so ultra rares is really where you kind of see the wrong upgrades, right? So first of all, the Desire 323 isn't a wrong upgrade, not by any means, but it's maybe less popular. I would probably go 233 on the second one of Desire. I know this because the 233 Desire would be 118 miles per hour for its top speed. I love to see a Max Nitro. Always love a garage when I see a Max Nitro in there. Once again, man, Red, if you're watching this video, comment down below if you have any questions. I will be happy to assist you after the video as well. We have 2 Lotus 340Rs. If you play a lot of clubs, you probably want to max 2 of those. They helped me out in the Yellowbird Championships as well. Not so much the Nismo Championships, because that's not Japanese, but still a very, very useful car. The Suzuki C2, once again, another amazing Japanese car that you have stock. I am now completely convinced that you do not like Japanese cars. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. Pontiac Soren GXP is one of my favorite club cars as well, mainly because of what it is. It's the only off-road Pontiac, and considering that you're an American collector, I would probably put the Pontiac up on your list for cars that you want to max out in the ultra category. Handles pretty well with a relatively decent 0 to 60. It's not a standout car in its category, but it's quite okay. Now, moving on now, we have a 323 Lancer Evo 4. I would probably get a second one in 233 that. You know, what you want one for the wet, you want one for the dry. Here's an interesting one. All American collectors always ask me this question. Dodge Charger SRT8, 332 or 233? Okay, I'll be fair, I have 2 of both tunes because really you can get value out of both of them. I mean, the overall answer is that the Dodge Charger SRT8 in top drives isn't that much of a fantastic ultra rare. You're not going to get a lot of value out of it because it's a bit of a hybrid. I mean, if you 332 it actually gets a really low 0 to 60 at 3.5. But the problem with the SRT8 is that it doesn't have the same MRA as cars like the BTR, the Tomora. It's not bad, but it's not at the top either, which doesn't make it that useful. That being said, it is a saloon and it has decent handling. That's why some people ask for 233. I'd probably go both ways, especially since you're an American collector. It's nice to see that you have 2 Cadillac CTS Coupes. You have this at 1 star. I would definitely max 2 out because they're very, very useful. The BTR as well as stock. What are you doing, man? 332 that for sure. See, the BTR is exactly the same in terms of statistics as the Charger. The Charger is 4381 and the BTR is also 4381. But what makes the BTR, you know, Blossom Choice and the Charger not is that BTR has that top speed and it has slightly better MRA, which means that if you put them in the same track set, BTR is going to win every single time. The only thing that the Charger stands out on is that it's a saloon. But yeah, pretty nice stuff. Now we move on to epics. Alright, this is where we want to see where your strongest niches lie in. Well, I already know the answer because I looked at your garage before I recorded the video. I would say that the strongest things in your garage would be 4-wheel drive, performance tires, and coupes. So definitely pay attention to coupes and 4-wheel drive, especially if you're a Chevrolet collector. You're going to get yourselves not only a lot of coupes in the Camaros, you're also going to get yourself a lot of 4-seaters. And I see a lot of epic Porsches and roofs in here, which are all 4-seaters as well. So I would say that if you want to take a specialist route, I would say look at 4-seaters, look at 4-wheel drive performance tires, and look at coupe. Those would be the things that I would look at because I see a lot of coupes in here, a lot of 4-seaters. I mean, once again, you got the Camaro ZL1, the Z28. They're all coupes. They're all 4-wheel drives. You have the 911 GT3, which is a 2-seater, but it's a coupe nonetheless. And then you also have some very strong 4-wheel drives that we'll see in a bit. The main thing that really gives it away is this section right here that really made me think about 4-wheel drive. You have 2 Subaru Imprezas, which are really good 4-wheel drives because they bring really good statistics and they have low ground clearance. A lot of 4-wheel drive cars, their statistics are inflated for their argument. RQ because they have medium ground clearance, but the Impreza has 77 RQ stats because it has low ground clearance. I hope that makes sense, because the medium ground clearance effect isn't really inflating its RQ as much as some other ones. The only exception would be the Evo 10, or just the Evos in general, the higher end Evos that is. Then the E-Legend as well, you got 4-wheel drive and you have medium ground clearance of a very low 0 to 60. The handling is so-so, I would say, for a medium ground clearance car. But once again, and the E-Legend is a 4-seater, so a lot of overlapping niches going on here. And obviously, I'm just giving you ideas to work upon on top of the USA, because eventually you're going to be done with your USA collection. Where do you want to move on next? Obviously, your higher end cars are going to tell you where you want to move on next. And what I see in your Epic collection are 4-seaters. I see 4-wheel drive performance tire cars. I see coupes. If I were you, I'd really focus on maybe 4-seaters as well. And then once again, like I said, you have the 1-star Mitsubishi Evo 10 to the right of the screen. You have a 1-star Cadillac CT6. Now, since you're an American collector, if I had one Epic to choose for you to max, I would say the Cadillac CT6 would be second. The first one would be the Mustang. Where is it? The GT4 Mustang. And pause. Mustang GT4 from 2017. Definitely max that one out next. Because you need a twisty American car in your life. Even though you have that Corvette already. Now we move on to legendaries. Very, very nice to see. We got Blossom Jr. and we have Hollywood. And of course the Cadillac 16. All very popular cars in my garage. It's nice to see that you have them all as well. Congratulations on your Demon. I'm pretty sure that you won that recently. ACR is a great car to have as well. Bentley Flying Spur is a pretty decent saloon, as much as people like to crap on that. I get that I like to crap on Bentley, but I do get the value that you get in the Flying Spur being one of the highest end saloons in the game. But once again, you're only going to get value out of it if you max out the handling, so, you know. But yeah, we have the Koenigsegg Agera, the McLaren 12C, and 911, and to wrap things up, we have a Lamborghini Centenario, and a Pagani Zonda R. Very strong legendaries. I mean, once again, it's very Italian heavy. You have the Zonda, you have the Centenario, you have the Quadrifoglio. It kind of speaks for itself. And then in the lower end rarities, you also have other Italian cars like the Maserati Birdcage and the Lamborghini Murcielago. But I'm pretty sure that Italian cars, that's the thing, right? With Italian cars and legendaries, it's easy to say, oh, you should be an Italian specialist. But the thing is, there's so many Italian legendaries, you're bound to get them anyway, even if you are an Italian specialist or not. Stick to the USA, man. You got Hollywood, you got Blossom Jr., you got what you need. You got a twisty legendary American, you got a fast legendary American. I would say, you know, if I were you, probably try and get a Ford GT if you can, or an Acura NSX for that 4-wheel drive. But you know, those cars will come when they come. But anyway, guys, that is going to be Red's Garage. Let me know if you found this garage review helpful. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to get your garage reviewed. Once again, if you want to get your garage reviewed, I cannot stress this enough. Everybody is asking for this. You have to be a Patreon. I spend a lot of time and a lot of effort on these garage reviews, and I can be completely honest with you, if you're not a Patreon, I have no time for you, to be honest. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace!
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girls everywhere with the drop dead look. Swing it side to side as we slow dance to the night. When I'll hold your perfect hand and take you out just for a ride. We'll share milkshakes at the diner and rebel at every hour. We can watch a drive-in movie, then have romance in the shower.